and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Today is a book haul. Books. I'm here to haul them for you. I have been sent all of these, or taken them from Mercedes. And I have quite a few books to show you, so let's just crack on in with it. The first two I've been sent from the lovely, lovely Emma at Book Break. These are Picador, both Picador books. The first one is the paperback of Ponti by Charlene Teo. Now, I have not read Ponti, hence why I've asked for it to be sent to me, but I thought it was going to be at least longlisted for the Women's Prize, and it wasn't, so I'm quite excited about it. It's about friendship. It's set in 2003 in Singapore, and two 16-year-old girls, Suzu and Cersei, develop an intense friendship. For Suzu, it offers an escape from Amisa, her mother, who is cruel and beautiful. She was once an actress, and now she's the silent occupant of their rusty house. But for Cersei, their friendship does the opposite, bringing her one step closer to the fascinating and unknowing Amisa. And then 17 years later, Cersei comes up with a project which is a remake of a cult 70s horror film, Ponti, the same series that defined Amisa's short-lived film career. Sounds exciting. Sounds like there's a lot going on. I went to Lush Book Club and heard, no, did I? No, I didn't go to the Lush Book Club by Charlene Teo. I couldn't go and I was disappointed because I wanted to go. But yeah, it sounds like it's going to be super. And this paperback is just bloody gorgeous, isn't it? And then the other book I got sent is Constellations, Reflections from Life by Sinead Gleeson. Can I show you it because the light's so bright? These are beautiful gold, the gold typeface on there, and then the gold sort of coming out from there. Itchy eye as well. This sounds like it's going to be amazing. It is a series of essays, I believe. Is it a series of essays? Yeah, it's a series of essays told about a woman's body, but not so. It says, how do you tell the story of a life in a body as it goes through sickness, health, and motherhood? How do you tell that story when you are not just a woman but a woman in Ireland? So yeah, it sounds like an amazing set of essays. I very rarely read essay collections, but when Emma sent the email out about this, I was like, oh, that does sound to me like that is something I would enjoy. Women's bodies, yes please. So yeah, those two are from the lovely Emma. The next ones are from Mercedes. Mercedes, I went up to visit Mercedes with Jen earlier this month, and Mercedes had a big pile of books she was getting rid of, and she said, go on, have a little rummage through there. I know you will. And I did. And do you know what? I didn't have that much space to carry stuff back, but I still come back with 4 books. The first one is Slammerkin by Emma Donoghue. Now, I got this book because I have these are a set of 6 which were published by Virago. I've got 2 more here. I've got 3. I don't know where the other one is, so now I've got 4 of these, and they all sort of feed into each other. I don't know if that one, Slammerkin, goes next to Invitation to the Waltz, so it goes there. So they sort of all feed into each other. Now this is by feed into each other. How often can I say feed into each other? And this is here. This is a coming of age story. I think they're all coming of age stories. Yeah, they're all so the whole 6 in the collection by different authors are coming of age stories. This is Mary. This is by Emma Donoghue, who also wrote Room. Mary, the daughter of a poor seamstress, longs for fine clothes as her neighbours hunger for food and warmth. For the love of a gorgeous red ribbon, she is seduced into a life on the cold, murky streets of late 1700s London. Her saviour is Dole, a gaudy young woman who takes her under her wing, but Mary soon discovers she can't escape her past. So yeah, so I got it because it fits in with that collection, but I do love a coming of age story. And the sad thing is, I haven't bloody read any of these, so I really need to crack on with these. And yeah, I think maybe I will do come the autumn. They look quite autumnal, don't they? So yeah, that's the first one I had off Mercedes. Then I had Poor Things by Alistair Gray. Now I picked this up. Jen mentions this on her channel a lot, and I really thought that I should get round to reading it at some point. And I think I've put it on like a birthday list before and a Christmas list and not received it, and then Mercedes was getting rid of this basically uncracked spine copy, so I thought I would pick that up, so that's what I did. She was also getting rid of Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lana Popovic. This is YA. And it says, all the women in Iris and Melina's family have the unique magical ability, or gleam, to manipulate beauty. Iris sees flowers as fractals and turns her kaleidoscope visions into glasswork, while Melina interprets moods as music. But their mother has forbidden Iris and Melina to share their magic with anyone, and above all, to fall in love. So yeah, and it says, but when her mother is attacked and left hovering between life and death, the sisters unearth an ancient curse that binds their fates and hearts to a force larger than life. To save each other, they must untangle 1,000 years of lies and secrets. And I've been quite enjoying a bit of YA about witchcraft and things. At the moment, I'm reading Perfectly Preventable Deaths by Deirdre Sullivan, and this sounds quite similar. So yeah, looking forward to getting to that as well. So Thanks, Mercedes. And then the last book I got from her, which she said was pained her to give away, but she just doesn't think... Did she say she just doesn't think she'll get round to reading it? And that's Girl on Fire by Robin Vasserman. Now this bit of hair, there's a Kirby grip with a bit of hair on there, and that is my #1 thing. If I see bits of hair, I have to move them. This is about a girl called Hannah Dexter. She's a nobody, ridiculed at school by Golden Girl Nikki Drummond and bored at home. But in their junior year of high school, Nikki's boyfriend walks into the woods and shoots himself, a discovery that sends tremors through the conservative town, already unnerved by growing rumours of satanic worship. In the wake of the suicide, Hannah finds herself befriending new girl Lacey, and soon the pair are inseparable, bonded by their shared hatred of Nikki. So yeah, it says here, Girls on Fire stands alongside the Virgin Suicides in its brilliant portrayal of female adolescence, but with a power and assurance of its own. So, sounds amazing. So, looking forward to that. Then, I was kind enough to receive from the publisher a proof copy of, speaking of hairs, there's a hair right there, oh god, this feels lovely, it's so heavy as well. The second in the Mirror Visitor quartet. This is The Missing of Claire de Lune by Christelle Dubois. I still haven't read A Winter's Promise, this is the first one here. And these are YA books published by Europa, which are translated from French. Obviously I don't really want to read much what goes on here in the second one because I've still got this to read. Now what I kept saying to myself is I'll read this at Christmas, but a lot of people have said to me, and also feel free to comment down below and let me know if this is the case, that these aren't necessarily wintry reads. Although they're called A Winter's Promise and things like that, they're not, you don't necessarily need to read them in winter. So if that's the case, if I don't need to, I may well read them one month after another. This is out in July 2019, so yeah, hopefully we'll get round to reading those shortly, so long as they're not that much to do with winter. The next one was my birthday present that I got from Simon, which I really love, and I've read this already actually. This is The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling, which is illustrated by Chris Riddell and kindly signed by Chris Riddell as well. Simon did an event with him and got him to sign it. I really enjoyed this. Simon gave this to me. I went to the Women's Prize for Fiction party, shortlist party a few weeks ago, and on the way home I missed my bloody train stop. I'll hold this down because I'll tell you about when I missed my train stop. I missed my bloody train stop, and I've never missed a train stop in my life, and whenever people say, oh, I've missed my train stop, I think, how on earth did you miss your train stop? I was listening to Bohemian Rhapsody on my headphones, just bobbing along, having a lovely time, looked up and thought, we haven't stopped at Ebbsfleet yet, which is the station that I get off, and thought, I better have a look. So I sat up, had a look, and then we were already stopped at Ebbsfleet, so I jumped up, and just as I jumped up, the train pulled away. So then I had to go 20 minutes to Ashford, wait there for 37 minutes, then get a 20-minute train back. Oh, but luckily at the station I had this to raise morale and keep me company. So yeah, so I really loved it, and I'll go into more details on my wrap up, but very much a lovely accompanying book to my burgeoning Harry Potter collection. Now the next set of books I've got are 6 books that I received from the British Book Awards. Now I was expecting to receive the debut shortlist, which was 6 books, which are all debuts, fiction shortlist, but I actually got sent the non-fiction narrative book shortlist, which I wasn't expecting to get, and there's a few on here I probably wouldn't read, but I would be interested if that is something that you would read. The first one is definitely one that I will read, and I'm looking forward to reading. I was actually thinking of getting it on audiobook, but now I can read it, and that's Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, and this is the paperback copy, which has a new edition, a new chapter on Everything I Know at 30. I love Dolly Alderton. She's a journalist. I think she's slightly younger than me, so a lot of the stuff she writes about are of my time, so like growing up and stuff. We sort of had the same experiences growing up. I love her podcast. She does 2 podcasts, of which I love both of them. The High Low, which she does with Pandora Sykes, which is a sort of topical podcast about what's going on in the news, and like lots of recommendations. I get loads of recommendations from her. And then I also love her podcast called Love Stories with Dolly Alderton, where she interviews a celebrity guest about the great loves of their life, be it their first love, their everlasting love, unrequited love. And yeah, I really love her, and love her podcast, and love things, and love, and I'm looking forward to reading this very much. The next one is one that I will definitely read, and that is The Language of Kindness, a nurse's story by Christy Watson. So this, I think, follows on from the success of Adam Kay's book This Is Going to Hurt, but I believe this isn't sort of like as comical. So this is following what it's like to work as a nurse in the NHS. Now you may well know that I work in the NHS. and I work quite closely with some nurses, so I'm always interested to find out what happens. So this is Christy Watson, who was a nurse for 20 years, and she talks about all of her experiences as working for the NHS, so very interested to do that. This next one is one that I'm not so interested in reading, however I do watch the programme that he's in, and that is First Man In, Leading from the Front by Ant Middleton. I know Ant Middleton from the programme, what's that, SAS, what's he called, David? That Ant Middleton, what's that programme he's on? SAS?
I don't know. SAS.
It's some programme on Channel 4 where basically they train people. Born to Survive, it's not called Born to Survive. I mean, good guess, but it's not called that. There's a Channel 4 programme where ex-SAS soldiers train up people or put them through tests and things that they would have to do if they were to become an SAS soldier. Now, there was one on recently, which David and I have been watching, which is a celebrity version in support of Stand Up to Cancer. And yeah, I mean, I just don't feel like maybe this is my sort of thing. I do know who he is and stuff, but I just don't feel like this is my sort of thing. But maybe I can have my mind change. Maybe I can. And then the next one, The Secret Barrister, The Stories of the Law and How It's Broken. Obviously, you don't know who this is by. This is, again, a sort of, I feel like it's maybe like a follow-on from... this is going to hurt, sort of behind the scenes from someone who's in the know. So this is, I started listening to the audiobook of this, and I stopped it and I returned it because I didn't like the narrator. So maybe now I've got the book, I might give it another go and see what happens. But yeah, so you're following, from the bit that I listened to, you follow a criminal barrister who works in the criminal justice system, and he's talking you through some cases that he's been involved in and things like that, and you sort of see inside what the criminal justice system in Britain's like. But yeah, as I said, I didn't love the audiobook, but hopefully now I've got the paperback, I will give that a bit more of a read. The next one is one that I just can't see myself reading, and that's Fire and Fury, but Inside the Trump White House by Michael Wolff. So this is a sort of unforgiving tale on the first 9 months of Donald Trump's term. So it says, now thanks to his deep access to the West Wing, best-selling author Michael Wolff tells the riveting story of how Trump launched a tenure as volative and fiery as the man himself. Fiery as the man himself. Yeah, I don't think I'll read that. And then the next one is one that I would definitely read, but I've actually already listened to the audiobook of and gave it 5 stars, and that's Becoming by Michelle Obama. But it would be really nice to look at the pictures and things in here, and it is definitely a book that I would revisit. I would probably revisit it through audiobook, but now I've got this copy as well, I may well revisit it here. This is the autobiography of Michelle Obama, who is who was the First Lady of the United States, former First Lady of the United States. So those are the books that I received in the month of May so far. We're only early days in May. Let me know what you think of some of these books. Let me know if you've read them. Let me know if you think there's any of those on the shortlist that you think deserve to win. I think if I was looking at them, I mean, I'd go for Becoming, Michelle Obama, as the winner from that, but I'm very interested in Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Very, very interested. And that's it from me today, and I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!